What is up, lads? How's it going? How are you getting on? And welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be looking at how my team fared out in Gameweek 13, and we'll also be looking at my transfer plans and team selection ahead of Gameweek 14. Currently 65% of my viewers aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you're not subbed, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 2.5k subs before the World Cup. With the intro out of the way, let's get into the video. We start off the game week at the early kickoff with big expectations for Mo Salah against the worst team in the league. We got an early scare early on in the first half when Salah went down holding his back, carried on, but it didn't matter in the end as Forest pulled off a shock 1-0 win thanks to Henderson goalkeeping masterclass. I took out Kane for Salah 2 game weeks ago and it definitely hasn't paid off. Liverpool now face Leeds this game week, so I'll be hoping Salah's form takes a turn for the better. On to the 3 o'clock games, and we start off in the Etihad with Triple City involved against Brighton. After bringing in Foden last week, Pep Roulette struck at 2pm when he was left on the bench. Normal service resumed with Haaland hauling with the armband, scoring twice for a 26-point return. It wasn't great viewing from other City players as Cancelo lost his clean sheet and Foden made a late cameo appearance. Moving on to Goodison, with Anderson in my team, I was hoping for a clean sheet with Everton in poor form of late. Palace were played off the park in a 3-0 loss and Anderson only came away with a 1-point return. It's very slim pickings, but at least I picked them over Guehi to get that point secured. We started off Sunday's games at St Mary's and I was hoping for a Martinelli haul after a rest in the Europa midweek, but Southampton held on for a 1-1 draw. Arsenal losing their clean sheet was the best result for me here, seeing as Martinelli blanked. They now face Forest at the weekend, so I'll be expecting Martinelli to turn his form around and hopefully my new signing will shine. Mitrovic continued his fine form in front of goal with another return against Leeds. He's now scored 3 goals in the last 3 games since returning from injury, but the only downside from this game was leaving Pereira first sub on my bench as he returned a double-digit haul. Sunday's games lied in the hopes of a Newcastle clean sheet in the late kick-off against Spurs. Annoyingly, it wasn't to be, as Kane wiped out my double Newcastle clean sheet, so it was the worst possible scenario here. The hopes of a green hour lied in the balance of the Monday night game, with 2 differentials involved in Solanke and Bowen. I sat down with the hope for a return from both of these players, but the game from hell was summed up with Solanke going off early in the first half and Bowen taking off late on, and 2 minutes later West Ham got a penalty. Haaland and Mitrovic were the only 2 players that returned, and with a score of 48 points, I was faced with a big red arrow, and I'm now sitting at 377k overall. I've got 3 weeks left before the World Cup to turn this around, so I'll be hoping for 3 green hours in a row before the break. With 3 game weeks to go until the World Cup, I've summarised the teams with the best fixtures to target over the next few weeks. These 8 teams all have at least 2 favourable fixtures, so I advise on transferring in their players in the hope of gaining some ground. Cancelo, KDB and Haaland would be my picks for City, Salah, Trent and Van Dijk for Liverpool, Rashford and Dalot for United, Bowen and Scamacca for West Ham, Tony for Brentford, Kane for Spurs, Mikalenko or DCL for Everton, and Zaha, Eze, Anderson and Guehi for Palace's favourable run. Pick the right players and you should see yourself gaining rank over the next few weeks. Don't forget, there are a number of high-owned players that are all on 4 yellow cards. If these players get a yellow card before Game Week 16, they will miss out in a round of games. These are the top-owned players that are on a suspension tightrope, so just be vigilant if you're transferring any of these into your team. Jesus, Saliba and Tony are the standout players on 4 yellow cards, so just beware. FPL Salah once again provides us with the clean sheet odds for the new round of games. Arsenal and Man City are the standout teams with their fixtures against Forest and Leicester, with my double Newcastle defence and Palace ranking in the top half of the bookies' odds for a chance of a clean sheet. I'll be hoping they're correct in their predictions in the hope of some clean sheets this week. Looking ahead to my transfer plans in Gameweek 14, with Arsenal facing Forest, I think the sensible move is Bowen to Saka. Bowen also announced in his post-match interview that he's now off penalty duties after missing against Liverpool. Bringing in Saka also means I'm transferring in a player that is on penalties. Jared has definitely been a good asset to my team, and I'll fondly remember having him in Gameweek 9 for his 14-point return against Wolves. Arsenal have some tasty fixtures ahead of the World Cup, so I'll be hoping Bukayo can return over the next few games. Looking ahead to Gameweek 14, here's some tips I'd be recommending ahead of this weekend's deadline. I'd advise on planning your transfers on teams who have the best fixture run over the next few games. With Solanke likely to miss out, play Pereira over him. With favourable fixtures for Liverpool, City and Arsenal, target their players this week. With Arsenal facing Forest, Bowen to Saka will be the popular move this week. Don't be afraid to go with some differentials with 3 weeks to go until the World Cup, and wait until after the European games before making your moves. I'll be waiting until after the European games on Thursday, but with Arsenal facing Forest, I'll more than likely be bringing Saka in for Bowen. For now, my team is as follows: Pope in goals, Cancelo, Trippier and Anderson in defence, Salah, Martinelli, Saka, Foden and Pereira in midfield, and Haaland and Mitrovic up top. In last night's Champions League game, Haaland had a little bit of fever and a knock on his feet, and that's why he came off at half time. I'll be hoping he can shake off the fever and overcome a slight injury before the weekend. If it sounds like he'll be okay from Friday's pressers, I can't look past him for the armband. Salah will be back up if needs be, but I have a feeling Haaland should be fine with another few days rest before the Leicester game. As mentioned previously, I'll be waiting until after the games on Thursday before I make my moves. Don't forget to follow me at FPL Era on Twitter and Instagram, where I'll post my locked in team before the deadline. If you've made it to the end of the video, please give it a like, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you Saturday morning for a deadline stream before the Gameweek 14 deadline. There you have it, there's my Gameweek 14 team. Best of luck for Gameweek 14, I'll see you in the next video.